You know, when it comes to building a successful life, it feels like you're getting hit with two totally opposite pieces of advice. One side says, go all in, burn the boats, outwork everyone. But then the other side says, whoa, slow down, be patient, play the long game, just focus on surviving. So which one is it? Well, that's the paradox we're diving into today. These two powerful but seemingly contradictory mindsets that you actually need to master.
Let's be real for a second. Do you ever get that feeling, deep down, that you're just stuck? Like, you know you're not lazy, you know you're not dumb, but somehow your best years are just kind of slipping away? It's a super common feeling, and a lot of the time, it's because we've accidentally built this cozy little prison for ourselves without even noticing. I mean, think about it. We see things like binging Netflix, scrolling for hours, or even juggling a couple of talking stages as just harmless ways to chill out. But what if they're not? What if these are the very things that are slowly killing your biggest dreams? They're like these subtle traps, designed to keep you just comfortable enough while your prime years just tick by.
So, how in the world do you break out? Well, this brings us to our very first philosophy, a radical, all-in strategy. This isn't a long-term plan. It's a short-term shock to the system designed to absolutely shatter that comfortable inertia and build a brand new foundation from the ground up.
Our whole world today basically encourages us to do everything, all at once. We're juggling 3 shows, a couple of potential relationships, 4 different business ideas we're working on. It makes us feel super busy, right? But in reality, our energy is just leaking out all over the place. We're spread so thin that we can't make real, meaningful progress on any single thing.
And this is the core idea right here. If you want a life that looks different from everyone else's, you just can't act like everyone else. You have to be willing to do things that seem a little extreme, maybe even unbalanced, for a period of time. See, normal actions, they just lead to normal results. But abnormal actions, that's where you create the possibility for something truly extraordinary.
And here it is, the escape plan. Now listen, this is not a permanent lifestyle change. It's a temporary, high-intensity sprint. For like 6 to 8 months, you go full-on monk mode. You cut out all the noise, the scrolling, the shows, most of the socializing. You pick one thing to master, and you just disappear. You go quiet, and you just build. It's about making a short, intense investment to completely change the entire trajectory of your life.
This quote, it just perfectly captures what that 6-month charge is all about. You're taking such drastic measures that you metaphorically kill your old self, the comfortable, distracted you, to allow a new, focused, and powerful version to be born. It is a genuine transformation.
Okay, so you did it. You executed the charge, you escaped the prison, and you've built this new foundation for success. Awesome. But that brings up a really critical new question. Can you actually live in that intense, all-in state forever? And maybe more importantly, is the mindset that got you here the same one that's going to keep you here?
And this leads us right into the second and equally important philosophy. See, once you've hit a certain level of success, the whole game changes. The new goal isn't just about getting wealthy anymore. Now it's about staying wealthy. It's about longevity. It's about staying in the game.
Getting rich and staying rich require 2 completely different playbooks. Getting there, man, that often takes big risks, a ton of optimism. You really have to bet on yourself. But staying on top, that's a whole different ballgame. It requires humility and a deep-seated fear of losing everything you've built. It's a defensive game. It's about survival. The skills are just not the same.
And here's why that defensive mindset is so absolutely crucial. We love to think that success is all about our own genius, but it's just not. Take Bill Gates. Yeah, he was a genius, no doubt, but he also had the insane luck of going to one of the only high schools in the entire world with a computer back in the 1960s. His friend, Kent Evans, was just as brilliant, had the same dreams, and tragically died in an accident. You just can't control luck, and you can never fully avoid risk.
The absolute master of this survival mindset is Warren Buffett. He isn't always chasing the highest possible returns. Nope. His main goal is to simply never get knocked out of the game. He knows that if he can just survive all the downturns and avoid making a catastrophic mistake, the power of compounding will do all the heavy lifting for him over time.
Now, when you start thinking like this, it leads to this really profound realization about what we're all actually aiming for. The ultimate goal isn't the flashy car or the giant house. The real goal, it's the wealth you can't even see. So take a look at this number, $8 million. Who do you think this belonged to? Some tech CEO? A famous investor? Maybe a celebrity?
Well, the answer is probably not what you're thinking. This was the net worth of a guy named Ronald Reed, and to the outside world, he was a lifelong janitor and gas station attendant. But for decades, he just quietly saved and invested his modest paychecks. His wealth was completely invisible, until the very end. Which proves that looking rich and being rich are two very, very different things.
So what does this look like in real life? It's about building what some people call an FU fund. This isn't money for a vacation. It's money that buys you pure freedom. It gives you the power to say no and to walk away from any situation that is draining your life, a toxic job, a bad landlord, whatever, without the fear of it ruining you financially. It buys you control over your own time.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? True wealth isn't about the ability to buy more stuff. It's the freedom that comes from knowing you have enough. It's the peace of mind you get from having options and having control over your own life. And that is a luxury that no car or watch could ever provide.
Okay, so we've got these two powerful ideas: the aggressive, all-in charge, and the defensive, survival-focused long game. They really do seem like total opposites. But the real wisdom, the real magic, is in knowing how to put them together.
So here's how it all fits together. The charge is for when you're just starting out, when you need to break free from being stuck. That's a warrior mindset. Then the long game comes in after you've had that initial breakthrough. That's when your goal shifts to survival and managing risk. They're not contradictory at all. They're sequential. They're just the right tools for different seasons of your life.
And really, that's the whole secret. Success isn't about blindly picking one philosophy and sticking with it forever. It's about having the self-awareness to look at your life, diagnose your current situation, and know which mode, the warrior or the survivor, is required of you right now.
So the real question I want to leave you with is this. Look at your life right now, your career, your goals. What does your situation demand from you today? Is it time for a period of that calculated imbalance and aggressive action? Or is it time to protect what you've built and make sure you can stay in the game for decades to come? The choice is yours.